click the subscribe button and don't go by. Stay right here. Go ahead. Thank you for catching the replay. This is Sasu here from Sasu Flavors. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to my Facebook viewers, Instagram, and YouTube. Sasu here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna give you guys some time to come in. Come on in, come on in. Come into my kitchen. Come into my kitchen. We are making sweet plantains today. Come on in, and make sure if you're on YouTube, click the subscribe button, share the link, and tag your girlfriends, your sisters, tag the single women who are waiting for their husband and they need some good food. They need some good recipes, I should say, under their belt, okay? So, click the link, invite them. This is Sasu here. We are going to cook and chat today. We are making some fried sweet plantain. I'll be right back. Give you time to come, enjoy our little background music. You can put a welcome message. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel. All of my subscribers on YouTube, thank you for the likes, comments, shares, all the love. My name is Sasu. I am the one behind all those delicious dishes that you guys see on YouTube and Instagram. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today. This is episode 2 of our Food and Faith live cooking show. Today I am showing you guys how to make sweet plantains, okay? How to fry plantains, okay? I know it can be kind of challenging or intimidating for some on how to fry plantains. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Miss Sonia. Yes, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. So we're gonna begin first with where do you get your plantains? Where do you get your plantains from? Where can you purchase your plantains? You can get your plantains at any grocery store. Me personally, I like to go to the Caribbean market or any type of Hispanic market, international food market to get my plantains, okay? Sometimes you can get them on sale, like when they're really like probably overripe. Sometimes some places will have them on sale. So when you go to the market, you're gonna see different types of plantain. They're gonna look different. Stop. They're gonna look different. Not you, KL. You're gonna they're gonna look different. So this is a green plantain, and usually it's much greener than this, but if you look at it, this plantain is almost it's trying to get ripe. Now for this, if you wanna do sweet plantain, this is not the one that you would use. There's something called tostones, which is green plantain, where you can fry this, mash it, add some salt on it. That is really nice too, and one day I'll show you guys how to make that. You would use green plantain for that, okay? So let's say you go to the grocery store, the market, this is green plantain. This is the one that you do not want to select because we're frying sweet plantain today, okay? Then you might see ones that look like this. Or you might even see ones that look more yellow than this. This one is fine. Now, when you're selecting the plantain, so you want to look at the color, you want to look at the texture, and you want to see like, is it soft, is it mushy? When I touch this plantain, it's yellow. It has some dark streaks, and if you can see here, there's a tip. It's green at the tip a little. This plantain is still. This plantain is really good, and this is how I like my plantain, because I don't like my plantain too mushy. Some people like it really mushy and overripe. The more mushier it is, the more sweeter it is. But I like my plantain in between. I like it not too hard, not too soft, and I like it to have just that little sweet taste to it, okay? So this is another one, just like the one I just showed you, but it's not green at the tip. This is still a good choice too when you see them looking like this. And if you touch it, you can tell that it still has a stiffness to it, okay? Now this one here, you guys can see the difference, that this one looks much more darker. So it looks more darker, so then you're gonna run into it being overripe or just really, really ripe. But when I touch this, it still has a stiffness to it, and it's only probably the tip of it is a little soft. So this tells me that this plantain is still gonna be really good too. And this one is soft in some areas, but it still has some stiffness, but it's still soft in some areas. It's still gonna be good too. Now, when you see them in the store, sometimes they can be looking like this, and you will see them like they look like they're dripping, like the juices are dripping from it. That's when you know like it's really, really ripe. And if you want those, you can get those, but they're gonna suck up more oil and they're gonna be much more sweeter, okay? So I like to stay within this range for my plantain. And this one is not bad too, because depending on the plantain and the country it's coming from, sometimes they can be, the skin can look like this, but this can still be really good on the inside, okay? So this one we're not doing today because it's green. So when you go to the store, you're gonna find, I don't think I have any that's really yellow. Check the back, Kayla. You're gonna find when you go to the store, sometimes you have ones that's really yellow. You can pick those up, but then you depending on how sweet you want it, you might have to give it like 2-3 days to get more ripened. Let me see. Even this is still has some streaks. But you know, sometimes you go to the store and you see plantains, it's completely yellow. Those are good too. You can actually let those sit for a day or two more, and they're gonna be really good too. So looking at the color of the plantain is gonna give you a clue on how to select your plantain. And when you see streaks like this, don't be alarmed, it's still a good plantain. Feel it. If it still has a good stiffness to it, it's still a good plantain. And the ones that are more yellow, they're still good. You might have to just give it like a day or 2 or 3 and kind of gear it. So as you begin to learn how to fry plantain, just test them out and you're gonna see the difference. Sometimes they can be really dark like this, and some of them are hard. They're not too sweet on the inside. So looks can be deceiving. Even looking at this, you might think, oh, it's going to be overripe. But when you cut into it, it's really going to give you a good plantain, okay, at the end. So I went ahead off of camera. I went ahead and I washed my plantains. I washed them off because, you know, when you pick them up from the store, they can have, you know, dirt on them. So I just went ahead and washed them off camera. So today, welcome everyone. We are discussing how to select your plantain, okay? We have this green one that we're not gonna use because we're aiming at getting sweet plantain. Then you have this yellow one with the streaks of black, which is still a good choice. And I don't have any that's completely yellow, but the completely yellow ones are still good. And you might notice that they have a little green in them. Just give them a few more days. Sometimes I'll put them in a paper bag at home under the sink and just let them sit for a few days just to get more yellow and get the black streaks in it, okay? Yeah, you just wipe it, because then I wipe it off, because think about it, when you cutting it, if the skin is not clean, anything from the skin is getting into your plantain. So just kind of wash it off, you know. And I don't buy my plantain organic because the skin is so thick. I just buy regular plantain, you know. And one thing is, when you're gonna make plantain, you know, I know some people are health conscious with oil, but listen, ain't no healthy with when you eating plantain, because it's sweet, and you know it's sweet. So for my oil, I've been using avocado oil. I've used coconut. Yes, he's gonna bless your husband. I use avocado oil. You can use grapeseed oil, and you can use coconut oil. Okay, they are good choices of oil for your plantain, and you don't have to like drench your plantain in so much oil. You can control the oil level of your plantain, but just know that it's plantain, and we frying plantain, and we're not counting calories when we eating plantain. Okay, it is no counting of calories with plantain. I'm sorry, there's no calorie counting with plantains. Okay, so now we're gonna get started. I'm gonna show you guys how I cut my plantain. We can put this to the side, I'm not using that. I'm gonna open up these two so you guys can see how they look on the inside. And my hands are washed already, but I'm just gonna wear the gloves for demonstration purposes. And I'm not covering my head, guys, because I'm in my home. But if I'm catering for somebody, I'll have my head covered and make sure that my hands are clean, okay? But I'm in my house and I don't have to cover my head when I'm doing this, okay? Yes, avocado oil is good. I like it. It's expensive. I wish I can find like somewhere that sells more, but I just prefer to use the avocado oil. So first things first, guys. So I cut the tip of the plantain. I just cut the tip of it. And let me know if you can see on YouTube, okay? And I'm gonna cut the other end of it. So I cut that, and I'm gonna do it with this one. I'm just gonna cut the tip off. And see, you can look inside of this and know that it's gonna be good. Like, you can look and feel and see. When you guys are cooking, use your eyes, use your senses. It's gonna help you. So this is this. So then what I'm gonna do is just take the knife and just kind of cut through the skin. Just not getting too much on the plantain, but just cutting through. Just use your knife and just come down like this. And then once it opens up, I just want it to open up. Once it opens up, then I just remove the skin. And this is it. You can tell this plantain is gonna be nice. It's not gonna be too sweet, and it's not gonna be too bland. It's gonna be really nice. So that one to the side. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Cut through the slit. Oh yeah, this one for all you love your plantain really sweet. Yeah, you see the difference, guys? This is gonna be good. Oh my goodness, look at that. You see the ends, even though, remember I told you it felt soft at the end. When it's really, really ripe, everything is really soft and mushy. This plantain is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. So you can tell the difference. So now we're gonna cut them, okay? Now, for me, guys, I cut like this, but since I gotta show you guys the way you do it so you don't hurt yourself if you're not experienced with the knife, you can decide whether you want your plantains really big or really small. I like them medium size. I don't like them too huge looking, okay? You can cut them at an angle, or you can cut them in a circle, okay? So first I'm gonna just cut them in an angle, and I'm gonna do like this, come like this, and then just kind of cut it like that, like at an angle where they can look like plantain chips. And then depending on how thick you want it, you can move your knife according to how thick you want it. So let's say you want it thin like this, you do like this, and you'll get this size. If you want thicker, you see that? You just cut it like that. And then you continue cutting at that angle. I think a good medium size, not too thick. See that? And then this one, I'm going to show it to you guys. Even maybe I'll do some circles. Circles is easy. You just cut. And depending on how thick you want it, that's how you make your circles. So circles is just easy. But if you really want to show out and show out to your husband to be, your girlfriend, you gonna cut those plantains in some style, okay? Not no circles, okay? You gonna give it some style so that when you put the plantain on the plate, oh my goodness, it looks good on your plate, okay? And people come over and be like, oh, you have some plantains, oh my goodness. So this one, you just take it like I said, and we just cut it in an angle. We just diagonally cut it. You can make it thin, you can make it thick. Just make it a medium size. If you eat it raw, somebody's asking if you can eat it raw. It's not like a banana that you should eat raw. Okay? If you taste it raw, yeah, it tastes good, but it's not like banana where you eat raw, okay? So this is how I cut it, and we just keep cutting until you get to the end. So you cut it to get those slanted styles. And we're gonna move this to the side, and then we're gonna prepare our pan for frying, okay? We're gonna let this get warm. And you want your plantains to be on medium heat, not too high on high heat where your plantains begin to burn. You wanna do medium heat. No, you don't eat it raw, Miss Sonia. No, you can taste it. It's not going to do anything to you if you eat it raw. But plantain is typically fried. You can fry it, boil it, and some people make other things with the plantain. When it's green, you can make plantain porridge. I can show you that, guys, one day. That plantain porridge, when it's green, you have to boil it, blend it. But typically, sweet plantain is fried or boiled. So we're gonna let our oil get hot, our pan get hot. And remember, don't put your pan on high heat, medium heat for your plantains, okay? Because they're gonna get brown really quick. You can let me know in the comments how you like your plantains. Do you like them really sweet? You like them in between? How do you like your plantain? And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet on YouTube, click that subscribe button, click the notification bell so when I push a video out, you don't miss it. We are making fried sweet plantains today. So I'm gonna add the oil in, and maybe you can estimate like a cup of oil, okay? So you don't have to count calories. Just use a healthy oil and then you won't feel that bad. It's good to avoid the vegetable oil and canola oil, guys. If you can stay away from that oil, that's really good. And just begin to use more healthier oils when you're cooking. Oh, you like them when they're soft and a bit burnt on the ends. Yeah. So you kind of like them like a little overripe, and they got that burnt look. Yes. You like them sweet, Miss Sonia. Okay. Yep. In the ones that they have already cut in the store, they tend to come out. You probably bought them before if you bought Peruvian chicken or so, and they give you some plantains on the side. They already have them cut and they have that burnt look. We bought those before when we were lazy to fry plantain. And I think my husband was saying that we should get the plantains when they're really ripe and try bagging them ourselves and see how it comes out. So we probably gonna try that too. Buy a whole lot, freeze it, and so whenever you want it, you just put it in the oil and fry it and you're good to go. We are making plantain today. I am giving you guys this recipe. Some people put a little salt on it when it's finished frying. You don't have to do that. That's just an additional option if you want to do that. But so I hope you guys have been doing well. This morning I had my prayer hub prayer time and it was really good. I usually stay on an hour, but we went for like 2 hours. It was just really, really good. So it was just really, really good. And I was just thinking that, you know, every season of your life is like God sends you new people. He sends you new opportunities. And sometimes it can be like scary because you miss the people of the past. You miss those, you know, you might have some friends you used to hang with. But sometimes when God is just moving you into a new place, he has to separate you, and separation does not feel good. You know, separation that does not feel good. I remember a couple of years ago, it's like we were going through so much, and people that you thought would turn on you, they did turn on you. But when I look back at that right now, I was like, Lord, the separation was okay. It was necessary, because sometimes where God wants to take you, if he doesn't separate you, you just gonna keep doing the same old thing, staying in the same old place, around the same old people that they're not wanting to move or do anything. But God sees so much potential in you that he just causes confusion to come, or he causes the enemy to come in, and you just have to separate. So I was just thinking that along this life journey, like, just be grateful for every step that God is taking you. Just be grateful, because it's in the wilderness where God makes champions. It's in the wilderness that God does great things that you couldn't even think of or imagine. And lately God has been telling me about how our voice is a weapon. Now, I remember, like, I don't know if I told you guys the last time or if you were on here, you know, growing up, the teachers used to think like something was wrong with me because I was really quiet growing up, going to school, elementary, but I would always ace my tests, I would ace my exams, but it wasn't like I was quiet. I was just always very observant. But throughout life, that quietness kind of, you know, it kind of held you back. You didn't do more. I wish when I was younger, I was able to do more, because sometimes your parents, they shield you, they protect you too much. And, you know, it ends up when you grow up as a grown person, you're scared to talk, you're scared to this. Because I used to run from doing what God want me to do. I was like, no, not me. Like, I don't need to do that. I'm okay doing this, you know, until one day, because every time I would go to church, the Holy Ghost would just come and I would just be on the floor all over. They would have to be picking me up. It was like ridiculous, okay? And then one day my husband was like, wife, you better answer the call. It's like I was fighting, like, I don't want to do this. I'll assist you. I'll help you in every way. I'll pray for you. But I don't want to do this. I was running. And then I think our oil is ready. And then it was one rainy day. I was going to Washington Hospital Center. I'm a nurse practitioner, but at that time I was an ER nurse. I was driving, and I remember that day. It was rainy. So I'm putting in the plantains here, guys. I'm gonna turn this down some. It was raining that day. And I was praying in my car that day, and I heard the Holy Spirit say, I'm going to call your husband to do full-time ministry. And I was weeping. I was crying, and that day I was like, Lord, I'll do what you want me to do. I surrender, Lord. I'm not going to run anymore. And from that day, I did not run anymore. Of course, when you get up to do anything, of course, yeah, I would be nervous. Like, I don't know why today, coming on here, I was getting butterflies in my stomach. I was like, no way, no way. Get from me. No. So even though you might get butterflies, you gotta tell fear to go. Like, fear, no, go. No, go somewhere. Get thee behind me, fear. So I'm putting in the plantains, guys. So gradually the Lord start working with me. I met my husband in church. Maybe one day I'll tell you guys how we met, and it was just, oh, maybe I could say it now. Well, I met him at church, but I didn't know like that was going to be my husband. So one day he said to me, you know, I came from St. Croix. I moved here, came back to school to finish up my nursing degree. And I was at Howard University, so I used to just hop in and hop out of church. And you know when you're not trying, you just, yeah, I come to church, but I don't really come to church. So I was like, I would come to church and I'll be like, I have to study, I gotta go to work, I got school. And you know, the pastor, the pastor at that time, he would tell me like, oh, Ima, what's your number? I'm gonna have Pastor Richard call you. And I was like, Pastor Richard call me? What he calling me for? I don't need nobody to call me. I come to church when I want to come to church. You know, you guys been like that. You be running from the Lord, wanting to do your own thing. So one day one day Pastor Richard, yeah, he called me. He called me on my phone. I think I was studying or something, and I saw the number. I was like, what he calling me for? I come to church when I want to come to church. I'm not answering this phone, and I did not answer the phone. So they would see me like once a month. Oh, Ima, where have you been? I said, I'm just studying, you know, really hard. I've been studying really hard. And but one thing is, when I was growing up in St. Croix, I always went to, my mother sent us to church, so I always went to church from a young girl. I always liked going to church. And I was always a part of the prayer meeting, not knowing that God would have me be praying for women, you know. So how I met my husband. So one day after church, he was like, do you want to go to this program? Let me not get distracted, guys, but here we're frying it, and if you take a look, you can tell that around the corners of the plantain is getting brown. So those I'm gonna start turning. So you can tell that they're starting to get brown by looking at the corners. You see? So I'm gonna turn that over. So that's a clue to let you know when you can start turning the plantain. So that day he said, you want to go with me to this program? So that day I did not have anything to do. So I said, oh yeah, I'll go with you. It was like a kind of a revival service. So here am I, this young girl with these two men in a car. I don't know them. I don't know these two people. And I was at the front seat, and I was just like saying to myself, what am I doing in this car? And then, you know, when a feeling comes over you and you be like, is this going to be my husband? Like something felt funny. So we went to the program, and not knowing the people who were at the program, I knew some of them, and the guy who was actually there, I said, oh my gosh, I know him, I know his wife. I always said when I get married, he'll play at my wedding. And then my husband was like, I grew up with him. I'm like, what? So that's just to show you how this little island girl came to the United States of America with my other friend Deidre. We moved here from St. Croix with plans to go back home, come and advance our education, go back home. We didn't go back no home. She stayed here, I stayed here, got married, had kids, and started doing ministry. But So that's how we met, and that I think that maybe that was our first unofficial date, going to church. You see that, guys? So you don't know where you're gonna meet your husband while you're running from the Lord. You don't know why you're gonna meet your husband while you're doing what God wants you to do. You don't know how you're gonna meet him, but just know that you will meet him. So I'm turning the plantains, guys, that nice golden brown color. So back to how I met my husband. And like some might ask, how do you know if he was the right person? Well, for me, all I used to tell God in my heart growing up, like, Lord, because I didn't see that growing up. I didn't have a father to raise me. So I used to always say it, like when I was 14 or 13, I would just walk around in the house and say, one day I'm going to be married and I'm going to have a godly marriage. I'm going to raise my children this way. Like I would just be saying it. But I didn't know that I was even prophetically like declaring something. So you see how powerful words are. And my mother would be like, what are you talking about? You always doing something extra. Because I don't know, I was just like, I wanted that. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have people come over to my house, because my mother did not allow, if you in the islands, they don't be letting nobody come over to their house, okay? They be like, you can't go here, you can't go there. So she never had people come over to the house and entertainment. So when I began to like grow, I realized like, you grow up and you felt like, oh, I'm lacking something. So I loved inviting people over to this house. We had so many parties here, food, like I would cook and people would be like, oh my gosh, this food's so good. They would be like, you should you cook so good. All the years I was cooking, I just never knew that I would even be doing this right now, but I just loved inviting people over and they eat and to see their face, and they would take food home. Like I just love doing that. So sometimes you grow up, you don't have things that you lack things. So I just begin at that age. I was just saying this is what's gonna happen, not knowing I was prophesying my future. So that's what some of you have to do. You gotta prophesy your future, prophesy your husband, tell God the kind of husband that you want according to what his word says. So guys, our plantain, I'm getting carried away with my story, but the plantain, I want to show it to you. You see how nice and golden brown it is? So if you're out there and you're listening and you're asking like, how do I know if this guy is the right guy for me? You're going to know him by the fruits of the Spirit. You're going to know if he's carrying any fruit. So now I'm putting the plantain on my, I'm going to put the plantain on here. But you're going to know if he's your husband based on the fruit. Does he love God? Can you see the fruit of the Spirit in him? Does he just perform and act when he's in church? Or after church, does he behave like a man of God? Or sometimes your husband, you might not even find him in church. Your husband might be somebody who's out there. He doesn't even know God yet, but he has a prudent heart. He has a sweet heart. He has a heart that respects you. I'm not saying don't marry a man that doesn't know God, but some women marry men that knows God, but they end up having a bad marriage. You got to look for qualities and fruits in that man, because if the man respects you and he's going to treat you right, then you know that your marriage is going to be good. Because how many of us can agree that some unbelievers, they're married and they've been married for years and they have beautiful marriage. So what I'm trying to say is it depends on the man. It depends on the man that you have. If that man is a nice man with nice qualities, eventually that man, there's no way that he's not going to want to give his heart to the Lord. And then you would just have to really just ask the Lord, should I marry this person? But I think sometimes we get caught up with, oh, I want a pastor, I want this, I want a man with this, I want a man with this amount of money, I want that. And then you end up missing the man that probably didn't have any money, but along the way, when you and him come together, God explodes you guys. God does great things. So selecting a spouse, you really have to be prayerful about it, you know, and you got to look for those qualities. See how it looks? You have to look for those qualities in a spouse, and especially if he treats you well and he respects you and you see the fruit of that. And if you have children and you're looking for a spouse, you want to make sure that you have a man that is going to love your children, because a man that loves your children that's not his own, that's a good man. Okay? So being careful on who you select, because you could meet a man that prays in tongues, but the man is like wicked. He's sleeping around with women when church is over. So you want to look at the fruits. You don't want to look at the performance that they can do. You want to look like, does this man have any fruits? Now, if you want your plantains to look more darker, you can fry them more longer, okay? But a nice golden brown color is the color that you should be looking for, okay? You can tell the plantains that are much more softer, they're going to tend to get that kind of little crispiness, like, you know, I can't even explain it, but it's going to have that crispiness on there. Are you married, Miss Sonia? I didn't know if you were married. I think you are.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna turn this down more and I'm adding the rest. So being very prayerful about the man that you want is gonna be very important, and make sure you prepare yourself to be a wife. What are you doing to make sure that you are this woman that you should be? Because you want the man to be all this to you, but what are you doing to prepare for that man? How are you preparing yourself, preparing your heart? So that's how we met. Our first unofficial date, we went to church. And then I got married like within, what, 6 months? Some people get married quick, some they take a year. But if you find the right man, you don't need to be wasting much time if you know. Oh, your husband is an associate pastor. So you answered the call, huh? So yeah, when you so I'm gonna cut some more plantain. I wish I could give you guys some. So see, this is the one with the yellow skin. It's still cutting really nice. So when you're looking for a husband as a woman of God, make sure you look for fruits. I'm not saying be unequally yoked, but sometimes, not because a man speaks in tongues or he performing and doing all this, if he don't have no fruits, he is not your husband. Okay? Because like I said, I know so many married couples that they're not believers, but their marriage is beautiful, because one thing about God is he honors covenant, and marriage is a covenant, and God honors it. And the Bible does tell us, do not be unequally yoked. And sometimes that doesn't mean somebody who doesn't believe in Christ. Unequally yoked is if somebody is wicked and they don't have any fruits, they treat you bad, even when you're dating them, you see the red flags, you see the fruits, you're like, I'm gonna be unequally yoked with a man who's mean, He has no regard for me. He's not sensitive to the needs of my children. If you have children going into a marriage, and a man who loves your mother and able to take care of your parents if they're older in age, and he's willing, like, no matter what, I'm gonna help you with your parents. That's a good man. You know, I'm not saying don't marry a man that's not saved, but many people got married and their husband, they won't save. They got saved, one got saved, the other one got saved. But you want to make sure you look for a fruit in a man. You got to look for those fruits. Yes, he can be a provider, but if he talks nasty and mean to you, then that's a big red flag there. Like, you don't need to be marrying him. He could speak in tongues, know the Bible, know all the scriptures, but then he treats you nasty when you go on a date. You know, he don't pull the chair out for you. He don't try to pay the bill. You just, in his conversations, he don't have a good relationship with his family, and you just notice certain things. You gotta look for the fruits. Don't be out here just saying, I want a man who knows the Lord, and you know, he gotta be in church, and you better watch the fruits, because they have a lot of fakeness out here. So you want to look for the fruits in a man. Just like, you know, a man should be looking for a fruit in you as a woman. Like, that's what we got to teach our children. And that's what, for you ladies who are waiting for your husband, don't be calling yourself single. Say, I am waiting for my husband. I don't like ladies saying that I'm a single woman. Don't say you're a single woman. Say, I am a woman that's about to be engaged. Like, you got to speak it by faith. So if you believe in God for a husband, just begin, like, praying, like, Lord, let that man find me. And when he does find me, let me see the fruits. And if there's anything in him, Lord, that's not right after the first date, Lord, don't let me go on another date with him. Like, you're going to have to pray that prayer, because some of you, you're getting older and you don't have time for foolishness, okay? So we are frying plantains today. If you are hopping on, we are frying sweet plantains. So the clue to your plantain that is ready to turn is you'll start seeing it get brown around the corners, okay? I also have a food and faith hub. You guys can learn more about that. If you're on Instagram, if you click the link in my bio, my food and faith course is on there, where we'll be cooking like higher level things, but it'll also be a course where we go on a faith journey. You know, we incorporate, we talk about God, we talk about real issues, things that is going to help you declutter stuff in your soul. Because cooking has to be from your heart. When you cook from your heart, you got to make sure your heart is really right, because people cooking food, they got to have clean hands and a good heart, because cooking has to come from the heart. And you don't want to be eating from people that does not have a good heart. Like, they're wicked. That's why you pray over your food. Even when you go to the restaurant, you got to pray over your food, because you don't know who preparing the food. You got to pray over your groceries, everything. Like, pray over everything. Don't leave nothing unturned. So my food and faith class is, if you click the link in my bio on Instagram, it's on there. And it's also on my YouTube page too. Or you can go to my website. The links are there. And I'm going to link everything in there. My plan is, it's a 6-week class. And then my plan is at the end of the class, we meet up. And we have an event where I cook. We're going to cook. We're going to pray. We're going to just have a good time. So it's not just, it's more than a cooking class. Yes, you're going to learn how to cook. You're going to have some recipes on, like, you're going to have 6 recipes under your belt. I'm going to show you how to make herbs and seasonings so that you can have these herbs and seasonings prepped. So anytime you pull out, you want to cook chicken, you already have your seasoning prepped. And you just start the process and season your chicken, because seasoning your food is very important, especially herbs and spices. They'll take your food to a whole nother level. And anytime you're cooking, you want to be creative. And everybody might make fettuccine, but when you add something different to your food, you can taste the difference. When you know, you can go to a place and they all make fettuccine, but there was something different about the fettuccine you ate at another place, because it's all in the preparation and what they put into the sauce, and what they added to give it to make it different. Okay, so anytime you think about cooking, you always want to think about, how can I make this much more different and tastier and take it to a whole nother level. And that's what my course is like. You guys are going to learn how to make some Caribbean dishes, like food that you enjoy. And we're going to learn some other dishes too. And you're going to learn how to make some herbs and spices. So that's my dream, that for my course, that at the end of that course, we can have a get together where I cook in a kitchen somewhere and we fellowship and we have a good old time in the Holy Ghost, pray, eat, slay. It's gonna be good. So we are frying plantains today. And so this, I'm going to show you the one. This is the one that was like not really ripe. And here, this is the one that was like soft, the one I cut into. You see the difference? Look at that. This is going to be good. See that, guys? So you look for the nice golden brown color around it, and that gives you a clue when it's time to turn your plantain. And it's good to have plantain when it's really like just off the stove. And I'm gonna taste this. Good. So this one has some softness to it, but it's not that mushy. I know you would love to taste it. Oh my goodness. And you know, if you have a pan, if you're trying to find out which pan you should use, you know there's always a pan in your kitchen that fries things really well. Just use that pan. But because this pan is non-stick, you have to make sure you use non-stick objects in your non-stick pans, okay? And this pan is from Caraway. I really like their pans. They're non-stick and they fry really well. They make really nice sauces. Because it's like when you're making like a soup or a sauce or a stew, it releases the juices really well. I like these pots. They're really good too. I don't have no partnership with them or anything. I'm just talking about their pans, the Caraway pans. So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. I hope you give plantains another try and don't be challenged by plantains, and give them a try. By the time that man comes, you're gonna have so many recipes under your belt. And if you're married and you like struggle knowing what to cook and you run out of dinner options, you're gonna have so many choices on my channel. I cook Caribbean food. I make few African dishes. And I make American dishes too. I believe in, and I do make some Indian food too. I believe in trying different foods, and I don't like my kids to be picky with food. We like to let them try different foods because we're supposed to be cultural and try different cultures, try different foods from different cultures, so that when you're traveling outside, you're not wanting to have a burger. You're able to enjoy the place that you're going to. You're able to enjoy the food from that country. So that's why I like making different types of dishes. And I try my best to make sure I don't use a lot of processed stuff. Make sure I blend my herbs and my spices. And make sure when I buy my seasonings, there's no MSG in there. Reading the food labels. So we are making our plantains. So if you are on YouTube, make sure you share this video, share it on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Sasu Flavors. We are making fried sweet plantains. So I guess today my chat was really watching if you're believing God for a husband, just looking at the fruits. And if you're married and your marriage is not going the way that you want it to go, you just want to pray and ask the Lord for grace, ask Him for direction, seek counseling, seek advice from other married couples that are living right, that have fruit, that can give you godly wisdom and advice. If your spouse is beating on you, then I don't recommend staying in an abusive relationship. But if there's things that just need forgiveness, things that you just need to work on individually, then that can be worked out. You don't have to give up on your marriage. Because marriage is two people coming together as one. And we come in with our own baggage. We come in with things from our background. We come in from the way how we grew up seeing our parents, or if you came from a house with just one parent. So we bring in a lot. Anytime you're thinking about being married, you're bringing in a lot into that marriage. So you gotta like lay down your pride. You gotta sometimes give and take. You don't always have to be the one to be right, you know. And if your husband is not much into the things of God like you, it doesn't mean that you should disrespect your husband. As a woman of God, like, you have to respect your husband, and he has to respect you. Like, there must be mutual respect, okay? Like, and if you're the breadwinner, like, you shouldn't disrespect your husband. Like, there's so many things that can mess up marriages, but it's all, you know, I think it all goes with your will. If you desire for your marriage to stay together, then you're going to work with the things in your flesh that you need to deal with. So that's why for those of you waiting, I'm going to show you guys how it looks much more darker. For those of you waiting on a husband, these are some things you got to start working on. Start working on you, like working on yourself. This is a little bit darker. Start working on you. Start working on the things that you need to work on, so that you could be that Ephesians 6 wife, you know, that virtuous woman, that Proverbs 31 woman, not just for a husband, but a woman that's known in the city. She's known in business. She's known in her household. She runs her household well. She's a woman of excellence, a woman of wealth of knowledge, a humble woman, a woman that doesn't compromise. You know, as you're preparing to be a wife, ask God to help you. Prepare me, Lord, to be a wife. Prepare me to know when to speak and when to stay quiet. And some men some men come knowing how to cook. So that's a plus if you don't desire to cook, but your husband comes knowing how to cook. That's a plus. But one thing I'm gonna tell you, like, a man always enjoys when his wife makes something and it's really nice. Like, even though a man can cook, anytime their wife cooks, you know, it's much better. Like, it makes them feel good. That's just a tip there, how you get to the heart of your man, by cooking for him. Okay, you can get to the heart of a man through his belly. Okay, because men like to eat. Okay, so imagine your husband coming home, or you guys just relaxing, and you make him something different. He's gonna be like, what, where did you learn to do this? You be like, from Sasu Flavors, from this woman of God that cooks, prays, and slays the devil full time. Yeah, he'd be like, what? You need to keep cooking, baby. You need to keep learning. He'd be like, that man be like, so even though the man come in and you like, Lord, send me a husband that knows how to cook. Even though he knows how to cook, there's just something that a man likes it when a woman cooks for him, you know? Like, it's just something, you know. Food is a love language, okay? Food is a love language. You can get to the heart of a man. When you cook him some good food, you can win that man's heart. Now, some people win men's heart by doing other stuff, but we're not talking about those kind of stuff they be doing to win men's heart. We talking about genuinely winning your husband's heart by cooking him some nice food. He'd be like, well, tonight we not eating pot roast. We eating jerk chicken tonight. We having some brown stew chicken. We having some curry chicken. That man be like, what? Where you look? We're not having fried chicken tonight. You be like, no, baby, we're going to have some Indian food tonight, you know? It's good to spice it up in your marriage. Have different, your husband might be American. Sometimes cook the food he likes. And he'll be like, wow, babe, you cook this? This is really good. This is better than my grandmama used to make. You cook this just like my grandmama used to make. And tell me if that man ain't going to be in love with you. He'd be like, my wife cooked me some good fried. Dion, your husband be like, that woman cooked me some good fried chicken. He be telling all his friends, she cooked some bad fried chicken. Listen, I even have a fried chicken recipe on my channel, okay? Just like his grandmama used to make. One day we probably do fried chicken, guys. The key to having nice fried chicken, first of all, I'm a stickler. You gotta clean your meat. You gotta wash that chicken with lime or vinegar. I posted a chicken recipe and somebody gonna say, I see suds. So this person was trying to tell me, did you put soap in there? I'm like, excuse me? That's lime and vinegar, and I guess the reaction, probably the water looked like it was sudsy. Well, that's where you want all those stuff coming out. I'm like, you think I would really wash my chicken with soap? No, I use lime or lemon or vinegar. If I don't have lime or lemon or vinegar, nobody gonna eat in this house. We got to have lime or lemon, and it's a must. Vinegar is a staple in this house. Lime and vinegar, lemon. You gotta clean your chicken. I clean my chicken. I clean my fish. I clean ground beef. Yes, I clean ground beef. I put the ground beef in a strainer, put the lime on there, put the vinegar in there. I have to clean. Even ground beef gonna get clean. Ground turkey is gonna get washed. There ain't no meat that ain't gonna get washed in this house, because you can tell when a meat or something is not washed. It makes you nauseous. You can smell it. Like, I'm telling you, I can tell if somebody didn't wash their chicken. I don't know if it's a Caribbean thing, but that's how I grew up. My mother was like, we gotta wash this meat, take all the hair off, take all the yellow thing off, the skin of the chicken. Maybe one day I'll show you guys how we clean chicken, okay? Oh, which one? The ground beef? Oh, what the person said. Oh, yeah, like, I was like, You know, some of these people out here, they be doing stuff. I didn't even respond to him. I just delete his comment. I said, I don't have time to even answer trolls on this social media. Because, you know, sometimes they just be coming as trolls and distraction. I was like, delete. I ain't got time for you. If you think I wash my chicken with soap, then okay. So, yeah, when you cook that man some, oh yeah, I was talking, all clean and ground beef, and yes, I know, right? Yes, I get it out the packet. I put it in a strainer, and I put like the I don't let it like mush up. I let it stay together still, but I make sure around it I put the vinegar, and then I wash it off with water. You know, one day I'm gonna show you guys how I do that, because I just don't feel good just putting meat in the pan and it's not washed. Like, you don't know what hands touch it, if it was contaminated. Vinegar, lemon, lime, it will kill anything, okay? But the key to, I hope you guys enjoy the plantain. So this is the one that was really like kind of overripe soft. And then this is the one that was like, uh-oh, why is that phone ringing? This is the one that was just like right. But yeah, the key to really good fried chicken is brining your chicken. And a old southern granny lady told me that. She's like, brine that chicken and you'll never have dry chicken. Like, she told me to always brine your chicken before, and then you season it. Man, that will be the best fried chicken you ever ate. Oh my, how do I clean my fruits and vegetables? I use baking soda and vinegar to clean my fruits and vegetables, even if they're organic. And the stores, they sell the sprays, but I just go ahead and use baking soda and vinegar, like a tablespoon or two, depending on how much I have. And then I'll put it in a bowl and I wash it, strain it, then I wash it again. Okay, yes, okay, yes, I will teach, yes, I will do that with how to clean the whole chicken and get under the skin. On Thanksgiving Day, my husband be like, I feel sorry for that turkey because I'm getting all under the skin. I'm taking all the slime out. Like, you making food for people, like, you gotta make sure like you doing it good, because you don't want nobody to get sick. You know, they're doing so many things with the food. The best you can do to it is really good. So yeah, I clean my fruits and vegetables with baking soda and vinegar. Even if they're organic, I still wash them with that. So I hope you guys enjoy this plantain tutorial. And yeah, but you're gonna have so many good recipes that your husband, or if you're waiting for your husband to come, by the time he comes, you're gonna have so many recipes. So it's good. If you guys have any more questions, if you have any recipes or anything like you want me to cook, you want us to cook, just leave me a comment, send me a message, and we will do it. If you're not following me on YouTube, go ahead, follow me over on YouTube. You could click the link in my bio on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Okay, so yes, okay, yes. So I think cleaning the meat, everybody wants to see that. Yeah, I think we'll start with chicken first, because chicken is the hardest meat to clean, because you have all the fat and the slime. Meat is easy. All you need to do with red meat, you just wash it. Easy. If you want to keep a little of the fat on there when you have red meat, that's fine. Fish, when I buy fish whole, you know, we eat the head of the fish in the Caribbean, okay? So when I buy the fish, I have it cleaned at the market, but when I bring the fish home too, I still go in on the inside and still clean it. So we can do videos on how to clean our chicken, how to clean meat, how to clean fish. Because if you haven't had the whole part of a fish, like, you have not had fish. You could cut the head off, but you need to really experience eating fish with the bone. Like, Yes, you need to experience that. So yes, we can do that. How to really clean your meat. So this is our plantain today, guys. You can see some of them are dark, some of them are really brown. And the sweeter the plantain, when you fry them, they are much more darker. Okay? And you can enjoy plantains by themselves. You can enjoy them with your rice and peas. You can enjoy them with your rice. You could just enjoy them with your chicken, your fish, whatever you like, your fried chicken. You can enjoy plantains with your vegetables, anything. So I guess today the biggest takeaway, guys, is when you're looking for a husband, you want to make sure you look for fruit. When you begin talking and dating, make sure you can tell if a man has fruit. They might come not knowing the Lord, but you have to look for the fruit, because like I said, a man he could speak in tongues, he could be reading scriptures, but if he don't have no fruit, he is not going to treat you well in your marriage. So you want to look for fruit before you start looking for holiness, because if this man is really holy, you will see fruit. If he's a holy man, you don't have to see the performance. You're going to see the fruit in that man. So ladies, look for fruit. Don't just look for how he looks. Don't just look for what money he coming with, what kind of family he coming from. I want a man this height. I want this money. Look for fruit, because if he has the fruits of the Spirit and he don't even know the Lord, but you see that he has these fruits, then you know that's a good man. And that man, God can turn his heart around and draw that man even to know God, okay? Like I said, there's married couples they've been married for years. They're not Christians, but God honors marriage covenant. So they end up having a beautiful marriage. Then you have Christians who've been married and they know the Lord. Some have bad marriage. You have good Christians, they have good marriage. So it all goes back to the personality of the person, the fruit. If that man can love your children, that's not his children, that's a good man. If that man treats you right, if that man respects you, he respects you, he honors you, he pushes you, that's a good man that you could work with. Like, now you could win this man, like, hey, let's go to church. I want you to listen to this. There's a way that we as women, we can win the men of heart, the heart of men. There's a way you could win your man's heart. The man might come to you and he might not be at the level that you want him to be, but when he sees your fruits and he sees how you are with him and you're not trying to overpower him, it does something to that man. So that's just for some of us, or if you're listening to this replay, if you meet a man and you're like more spiritually there than he is, you don't know what God is going to do with him. Help him along the way. Don't see it as, oh God, you gave me this man, he don't even pray in tongues, he don't even like reading his Bible. Sometimes you just gotta be like, let's pray. You lead this prayer, you do this. Like, there's a way that you have to do it and win that man over. Okay, but that fruit, I'm telling you, make sure that man has some fruit. If he don't have no fruit, the day you come home from your honeymoon, that man is going to show himself. That narcissistic spirit is going to rise up in that man, okay? So look for fruit, ladies. Don't just be looking for height and money. Look for fruit, because the money can always come. Well, the height can't change. Only when you get older, your height, you get shorter. But don't look for fruit if you're looking for a husband. And even right now, if you're married and you having struggles in your marriage, how can you sharpen your fruit to help your husband? If he's not beating you and you're not beating him and he's not emotionally abusing you, then I say that your marriage still has room to grow. So now you gotta learn how to be quiet sometimes. You gotta learn how to feed his ego. You gotta learn how to, make him feel like he's the best person, he's the best man. You gotta make, like, men like you to feed their ego. Like, when I be complaining, asking my husband to do stuff around the house, and well, the kids are here, but when that part, that you have that part, if you don't, but when you do that part, they be like doing everything you want them to do. So we have to know as women how to get to the hearts of men, okay? So your husband might be acting funny, But just do the little things that he like, cooking him his favorite thing, doing, we all know what they like, right? Yeah, so that's all they like. Yeah, that's all they like. Give them that. Give them that. They're good to go. They do everything around the house. Okay? They paint. They'll go do everything you've been asking them for months to do. Okay? Okay, guys? Read between the lines, okay? But I'm so glad, guys. I hope you learned something today. Plus, learn how to cook. This was good. I hope one day we get to all sit in a room together and we just have a good time. By the time you go back home to your husband, or by the time you go, by the time you come single, you go back home, your husband be waiting for you. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you try this plantain recipe, send me a picture. Let me know. Yes, we're gonna do a video on how to clean our meat. So that's very important. When you clean your meat really well, your food comes out really nice, okay? And you'll be like, yeah, Sasu Flavors taught me that. Your food go to a next level. Like when you have holiday time, they'll be like, what, girl? Your food's so good. Yeah, Sasu Flavors. So hope you guys enjoy this video today. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube at Sasu Flavors. And also, I'm going to leave the link in the bio where you can go and take a look at my food. And you're welcome. Thank you for tuning in, Miss Karen and Miss Dr. Sonia. Congratulations to Dr. Sonia. She got her doctorate. Dr. Sonia, can you tell us what did you get your doctorate in again? I'm so proud of you. So if you're just tuning in on Instagram, we made sweet plantains today. You can watch the replay and get to know how to fry some nice plantains, okay? My name is Ima Sasu. I am the face behind all of the delicious dishes. Everything I make is like flavorful, tasty, great. You're gonna enjoy it. And I guess that's it for now, guys. I'll see. Oh, religious counseling, okay. All right, Miss Sonia, you be trying to be shy, okay? You humble woman, okay? You better get that devil, Sonia. I saw you doing a live. You better come through with more lives. Let us see what's all locked up in Dr. Sonia. Yes, when I saw that live, I was like, okay, Sonia, okay. She just gave us a little appetizer. Like, yeah, I was like, okay. You come through with that life. We want more. Like, let your light shine, Dr. Sonia. Come and counsel these people. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Come and counsel these people. I'm telling you, there's no limit to what God wants to do in our lives. Yes. Okay, I'll be waiting to see more of you. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you to my, well, they're still hiding from the camera, but hopefully one of these lives, my daughter, she'll come and cook with me. She's my background person here, and my son and my dad are watching me. You guys enjoy the live today? Huh? You're welcome, Miss Dr. Sonia. God bless you guys. Have an awesome day. Share, tag somebody who loves plantain and share this recipe with them. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And okay, hello. Dr. Sonia said hello to you guys. Say hello. Let her, can she?
Hi.
She can't hear you. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, let me hear you.
Hi.
Okay. Hopefully they will stop being scared of the camera, okay? So All right. So you guys let me know in the comments anything else you would like to cook. If you want to surprise your husband with any good meals, you know, like, because I'm telling you, your husband like, what? Girl, when you cook this? How you know how to cook this? I'm telling you, your marriage gonna be like spiced up. Cause he ain't going nowhere. You give him some good food, he be like, I ain't going nowhere. This woman know how to get to my belly, get to my heart. Okay. Okay, guys. So have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. And that's it for now. Bye. Sweet plantains. Now who gonna eat all this plantain? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wish you guys could come and get some. All right. See you guys next time. Bye. Okay.